Hi everyone, I'm here to show you how to create and optimize great content using Frase. The first thing you're going to want to do is identify questions about a topic of interest. The way you do that is using the question tool, which I go into more depth in another video. But for the purpose of this video, let's just assume we want to use the topic inbound marketing, and we're going to quickly identify questions related to inbound marketing, and we're going to start a document that answers this question: what is inbound and outbound marketing? So it'll bring us to this screen, which is the beginning of the content generation process. So there's a couple elements here. The first is the search query that we're using to create the document. In this case, of course, we're using the question, what is inbound and outbound marketing? What Frase will do is it will search for this query and use this query to sort of collect sources, automatically summarize those sources, automatically analyze them, and compile lots of valuable resources that will help us create content faster and help us create better content. The second thing it'll ask us if we want to do is if we want to filter query by domain. Sometimes you'll want to do this if you trust one source more than another. So for example, if we're creating content about inbound marketing, we might want to only search HubSpot's domain. If you don't do this, it will just do the default behavior, which is to automatically analyze the top 20 results in Google. So for this example, that's what we'll do. And then it'll ask if you want to save it to a channel. Channels are essentially folders. And so we're just going to use this sort of general channel, which is the default. So we're going to create this document, and what we see on our left is this blank document, and we can edit this any way we want. And what's happening on the right is our automatic content brief has generated. So the Frase content brief is broken into a few different sections: topics, related questions, sections that your competitors are using, statistics, and links for backlinking purposes. Now, the value of this tool is it gives you all the research you need, puts it at your fingertips so that you can quickly create your own highly researched, high performing content brief. And the interesting thing about this is you can click into these topics and see nice little summaries from every source that we crawled about these topics. And if you click on them again, it will add one-click annotations to your document. So maybe we want to look at sections. Let's add this. Let's add this. Statistics. We can add these. And all of a sudden, you're starting to create a high-quality content brief. But maybe you don't have time for that. You don't have time to go through and really select the content that you want in your content brief. That's fine. All you have to do in that case is navigate to this Paste Brief button on the top right. Click that, and Frase will automatically paste our content brief into your document. So that's an option as well. Now, if you want to do it on the more manual side, there are other tools available as well. Up here is what we call the research toolbar. If you click in, you'll get a summary of all the sources we crawled to create your content brief. You can see all the top topics that are being mentioned in various sources, in other words, your competitors, the questions that are being mentioned in forums and comment sections and whatnot, links for backlinking purposes, and news. So most recent news stories related to your topic of interest. So this is really helpful because you might go through here and you might say, oh yeah, this is relevant. I want to make sure I answer this question in my document. What is outbound marketing? And maybe we throw a couple annotations in there to help us out. So once you've used all the tools at your disposal to create some great content, you can always export it in multiple different formats, PDF, plain text. You can share a link with anybody using this URL. Oftentimes, folks will send this to writers that they work with, and a writer will create some content and send something back to you. Now, once you have something, a draft, once you have something written in long form, now you can think about optimizing content. So to show you this, I'm just going to get rid of this content brief that we generated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this optimize button right here, and it will give us a couple options. The first is we can either import content from a published URL. And as you might have guessed, the best time to do this is if you've already published some content and you want to improve its performance. So for example, let's say we pulled this what is inbound marketing article from the internet. We throw it in here, we'll click process URL, and Frase will automatically consume the content of this article and place it in our preview here. Now let's say you don't have a published URL. You can actually optimize unpublished content, and the only thing you have to do in order to do that is copy and paste, a Word document or a Google Doc or whatever, and paste the copy right in here. You can do anything you need to, but in this example, we're going to use the URL since we don't have an unpublished article. And then once you're done with that, you'll confirm the import. Frase will consume your all of your content, and it will compare your content to your top 20 competitors' content. And it will show us over here some interesting things. The first is a topic score, which is a proprietary algorithm that Frase uses to benchmark your content against your competitors' content. So our topic score is a 32%. Our competitor's topic score is a 54.1%. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to improve this article right here. Now, while there's a lot of opportunity to improve, the good news is that it's going to be easy for us to do that because we have this sort of paint by numbers tool here that shows us all the topics that our competitors are mentioning compared to the topics that we're mentioning. So for example, our competition is mentioning relevant content once, we're also mentioning it once, we're probably okay there. That said, we're not mentioning marketing tactics at all, but our competitors are mentioning it an average of 2 times. So there's an opportunity there. We can include this topic in our article if we want to improve its performance. You can do that with a long list of relevant topics, and then you can just add them in. This document is fully editable. You can rerun your topic score, and we've already ticked up a little bit. So continuously adding new topics, filling topic gaps is the best way to improve the ranking of your content, and it's made very easy with Frase. Hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for listening.